Please make some noise for the fantastic Dan Dicks. Here he comes.
Thank you, brother. Hello, everybody. It is really good to be here with so many like-minded people who are clearly not suffering from the fear, which is the real virus. Is that right? So, you know, isn't it amazing that the mask mandates have ended in BC and there's still all these people wearing masks outside when they literally don't have to? It's absolutely remarkable. And a lot of that is actually largely because of the words and the actions of that man, Bill Gates, who we're all here for. And my dogs are right in front here freaking out. That's hilarious. Now, guys, I want to start this with a little bit of a disclaimer. I want to let you know what my qualifications are and let you know that when it comes to science and medicine, I have the exact same degrees that Bill Gates does. So we're on the same level, medically and scientifically. I have the same degrees that he does, so I'm not just picking on him like a bully or something, just putting that out there. Now, when I first started covering the connection of Bill Gates to this COVID 1984 nightmare, I started with a video in January of 2020. In January of 2020, I put out a video about Bill Gates and his connections to all of this, titled The Truth About the Coronavirus That They Hope You Will Not See. But looking by this crowd, I think the truth is starting to come out, right? So it's pretty good. I think we're doing pretty good. And the reason why is it really doesn't take a lot of research. I mean, as soon as you start looking into this guy, it's almost impossible to not find groups or individuals who have been sponsored by this man. His father was a staunch eugenicist, as I'm sure you guys know. Maybe you didn't know that that had an effect on Bill's life. Did you know when he used to go on a first date, the first thing he would ask his date was what they scored on their SATs? Because he wanted to find somebody who was of equal intelligence or greater of intelligence than he was, because he wanted to produce smart offspring. So this is a man who thinks way, way ahead in the future. And right now he's promoting a book called How to Prevent the Next Pandemic. And coincidentally enough, that happens to be the title of my talk here today. So we're going to talk about how to do just that. Now, I could say a lot of bad things about Bill Gates. Obviously his ties to Jeffrey Epstein, a man who he remained to be friends with even after he was convicted of being a sex offender. Of course, there's the atrocities we've seen in Africa with his experimental vaccines, and not to mention the fact that he's now buying up a large portion of the U.S. farmland. Did you guys know that Bill Gates is currently the largest private owner of U.S. farmland? Why do you guys think he's doing that? Why do you think he's buying up all the farmland right now? The man who thinks way ahead. I think it's because he knows that there is a global food shortage crisis coming, and supply chain crisis is coming. And if we're not thinking 3 steps ahead, we're going to get completely caught off guard, guys. So, how do we prevent this next so-called pandemic? Well, I think we can really break it down into 3 simple, practical things that everybody can do. Number 1, turn your TV off, right? Just turn that thing off. Number 2, stop getting tested. And number 3, start to focus on a self-sustainable food source for yourself. So let's talk a little bit about number 1 a little bit. If you guys see somebody outside, they're wearing 2 masks, they've got the visor, they've got the gloves, they're spraying the alcohol, they've watched far too much television. They're completely far gone. And they call it programming for a reason, really. It's not just the commercials, and I should say it's not just the news, it's the media, it's the commercials, the movies, the TV shows. All of it has a part into conditioning us to go along with this thing. So just turn it off, turn it off, turn it off. The sooner we turn off the TVs and crumple up those newspapers and stop tuning into the mainstream media articles, the quicker we'll be to ending this whole thing. Number 2, stop getting tested. I mean, these PCR tests are completely faulty. They're ramping up the cases, which mean nothing, and that ramps up the fear state, and which keeps this thing perpetually going. And I mean, did you ever think about the fact that they want you to stick a Q-tip into the back of your brain when apparently a droplet of your saliva can infect somebody who's less than 6 feet away? I mean, it clearly doesn't make any sense. It's obviously all about control and not about health. So how do we take that control back? Well, as I said, focusing on that self-sustainable food source is absolutely going to be key moving forward. But before you do that, guys, you're going to have to get out of debt. You know, when you have a mortgage and a line of credit and multiple credit cards, they have you in a position that they can really screw with you at any time that they want. So getting out of debt is going to be absolutely crucial. That could be easier said than done. It may mean you have to lower your standards of living. But I would rather live in a shack and have a garden than have a nice big house and a mortgage and the big back banks hovering over my shoulder, right? So focusing on that self-sustainable food source is going to be key moving forward, because we are moving into more difficult times. So turn the TV off, stop getting tested, focus on a self-sustainable food source, and lastly, I would just add, go forth and multiply, like the good Lord said. You know, I hear a lot of people say, I don't want to bring a human being into this world and in this crazy time, and I disagree. I think that's the wrong argument entirely. We need more people like you, fine folks, in this world, you know, to be able to deal with this stuff. And we need to create the world we want to see by creating the people we want in this world, who are not going to be relying on the banks, not relying on the grocery stores, not even relying on the government or the grocery stores, completely independent, self-reliant people. That's what we need to focus on creating. And that truly is the number one enemy of this COVID-19 84 agenda. That's the true enemy of this whole system, is a free, independent society who is capable of completely taking care of themselves. Once we figure out how to do that, guys, we win this thing, and it's over. So I just wanted to put that out there. That's my 2 cents. That's it for me. I know there's other speakers, and it's been a long day, so I want to keep your time, guys. Please check out pressfortruth.ca if you're not familiar with my work. Pressfortruth.ca is the website. Thanks so much, everybody.
We all want truth. The truth will set you free.